My beloved child, I see you. Even now, as you sit in silence, trying to keep yourself from falling apart, I am here. I am closer than the thoughts that overwhelm you, closer than the fear that grips your chest, closer than the tear that waits at the corner of your eye. You've been trying to stay strong for so long. You've whispered prayers through clenched teeth. You've encouraged others while secretly wondering if there's still hope left for yourself. You've smiled at the world with a heavy heart thinking, if only they knew. And I do know. I've seen it all. The battles you fought in silence. The nights you lay awake, staring at the ceiling, asking if anything will ever change. The moments you wanted to give up, but didn't. I was there. You didn't see me, but I held you. You didn't hear me, but I whispered over you. You didn't feel me, but I carried you. And I need you to hear me now because your spirit is weary and your soul is thirsty. Don't give up. This is not the end. Not of your strength, not of your story, not of your purpose. You see rubble, I see foundation. You see failure, I see refinement. You see emptiness, I see space I've cleared to pour in something new. What feels like the end to you is just a turning point for me. My child, you were not created to be defeated. You were not made for despair. You were not destined for a life of surviving. You were made to overcome. I know your heart aches. I know you've been waiting for answers, waiting for change, waiting for something, anything to shift. And sometimes, it feels like all you get is silence. But silence is not absence. Silence is often where I work the deepest. In the quiet, I rebuild. In the stillness, I heal. In the pause, I prepare. You wonder if I'm listening. I've never stopped. Every word you've ever prayed has been caught by Manon, have fallen to the ground. I've gathered them like seeds, and in time you will see what I've grown with them. You're not late. You're not forgotten. You are right where you need to before a miracle to unfold. But you must not give up now. You were chosen, hand-picked, anointed for such a time as this. You may not see it, but I've placed a light within you that no darkness can extinguish. That light flickers when you cry, but it never dies. Because it is sustained not by your strength, but by mine. Yes, you've stumbled. Yes, you've made mistakes. But redemption is my specialty. What you see as disqualification, I see as preparation. Your broken pieces are not worthless to me. They are the very parts I use to shape something beautiful. Do not be ashamed of your wounds. I was wounded. To and through my wounds, I brought healing to the world. Let me bring healing through yours. I know it's hard to believe right now, but I need you to keep going. Not because you have the strength to, but because I will lend you mine. When you're too tired to walk, I will carry you. When your faith runs out, I will believe for you. When all you can do is cry, I will turn your tears into a prayer, and your prayer into power. This is not where it ends. Do not listen to the voice that tells you it's hopeless. Do not agree with the lie that says you're too broken, too far gone, too late. You are none of those things to me. You are mine. You are seen. You are deeply loved. And nothing, not fear, not failure, not even death, can separate you from my love. Take one more breath, child. Just one. And in that breath, say yes to hope. Say yes to me. Let me hold your hand through this. Let me remind you how the story ends with joy, with restoration, with glory. Don't give up. The best is not behind you. It's ahead. It's coming. It's close. And it has your name on it. So rest now. You fought long and hard. Let me fight for you tonight. Let me be your shelter, your shield, your peace. Because this is not the end. If your heart feels this message was meant for you today, share it in the comments with the words, I won't give up, God is not finished with me. Let the world see your courage. Let your faith be the ripple that stirs someone else's hope. And come back tomorrow, I'll still be here, waiting to speak life into you again. My beloved child, you may think no one truly sees you, that you are just one among many, easily forgotten, that your story is too small for anyone to care, but not to me. To me, your story is sacred. Long before you took your first breath, I had already written your name in my book. Not in pencil, not in ink that fades, but in everlasting truth, with love that cannot be erased. I've known every twist, every turn, every valley, and every victory that your journey would hold. Nothing about your life surprises me. Not your choices, not your doubts, not even your silence. And still, I chose you. Still, I stayed. Still, I love you with the same fire as the day I first breathed life into you. You don't have to earn a place in my heart, you already live there. You don't need to try harder to be seen, I've never taken my eyes off of you. Yes, the world may overlook you. People may forget your name, minimize your pain, misjudge your worth, but not I. To me, you are unforgettable. There is not a single day of your life that has passed without my full attention. When you were in the hospital room, I was beside your bed. When you stood alone after heartbreak, I stood even closer. When you were rejected, abandoned, pushed aside, my arms remained wide open. You've questioned whether your life still holds meaning. You've wondered if there's still something good waiting for you. You've told yourself maybe it's too late, but I tell you no, it's not. Your story is still unfolding. And I, the author, have not put down the pen. There are pages yet to be written, moments of beauty you haven't seen yet, healing that hasn't reached you yet, joy that hasn't bloomed yet, and I will write them all with your hand in me if you let me. Child, do not define your worth by how others have treated you. Do not let their silence speak louder than my voice. Do not let rejection harden your heart to the truth. You are cherished, you are chosen, you are mine. You think you've messed up too much. You think you've missed too many chances. You think there's no going back. But I am the God of return. I restore, I renew, I redeem. I saw your failure before you did, and I made room for it in my grace. Nothing you've done has voided your place in my book. Your name still shines with purpose. Your story is still covered in my mercy, and my love for you, it's stronger than every mistake combined. Please stop carrying what I already forgave. Stop replaying what I've already released. Stop punishing yourself for what I already paid for with my own blood. There's no prison cell that can hold you now unless you choose to stay in it. So let me speak to your soul right now. You are not what happened to you. You are not the words they used to describe you. You are not the wounds they left behind. You are not the lie you keep repeating to yourself. You are mine. You are called. You are seen. You are a child of divine design, walking a path that still holds promise. There's more ahead, more than you expected, more than you dared to ask for. But first, I need you to believe it. Not because you feel strong, but because you trust in my strength. Not because you know how, but because you know who. So come back to me. I'm not asking you to fix yourself. I'm asking you to let me be your rest. Let me be your anchor. Let me be the voice that is louder than shame, fear, or regret. I wrote your name with joy. I recorded your days with delight. And I will finish what I started in you, not because you deserve it, but because I am faithful. Don't close the book yet. Don't settle for the ending fear offers you. Don't hand the pen to sorrow. Let me finish your story. Let me write your comeback. I see what's ahead, child, and it is so much better than you imagine. If this message spoke to your spirit, share in the comments, my name is still in his book. Let that truth remind you when you forget. Let others see your courage and find their own. And return tomorrow, because your story continues, and I have more to tell you. My beloved child, you've been holding on so tightly, haven't you? to what was, to what didn't happen, to the words they never said and the apologies they never gave, to the image of yourself that feels like it was shattered long ago. You carry it all as if it's yours to fix, to justify, to prove. But I'm here to whisper something to your weary soul. You don't have to carry this anymore. You weren't meant to. That ache in your chest, that quiet fear that wakes you in the night, that subtle belief that says, maybe I'm just too broken to be made whole again. I see it. I feel it with you. And today I am asking you to let go. Let go now, because the pain wasn't real. Not because the betrayal didn't cut deep. Not because the loss doesn't still leave a shadow over your mornings. But because holding on to what hurts is keeping you from what heals. Child, you cannot run toward new life while gripping what is already gone. You cannot breathe freely while clutching the past to your chest. You cannot rise while being anchored by memories that were never meant to define you. So, come, bring me what's in your hands. Even if it's messy, even if it's shameful, even if it's something you've tried to hide from me, I already know. And I'm not afraid of any of it. I am the healer, the gentle surgeon of broken hearts. I do not rush my work. I do not judge your wounds. I do not demand perfection before I begin. I simply ask for surrender. You say you want peace, but are you willing to release control? You say you want healing, but are you willing to let me touch the place that hurts? You say you want a new chapter, but are you willing to close the old one? I won't force you. I never have. Love that forces is not love at all. But I invite you right now, in this very moment, to unclench your fists, to let the pain drop, to open your hands and simply say, God, I trust you with this. That's all I need. Because the moment you let go, I begin to pour in comfort where sorrow lived, pour in hope where despair grew, pour in grace where guilt screamed too loud. You think letting go is weakness, but in my kingdom, it's power. You think surrender is losing, but in my presence, it's victory. So let go of trying to fix what you didn't break. Let go of blaming yourself for other people's choices. Let go of the belief that your worth is tied to someone else's ability to love you well. Let go of the lie that you must earn my love. You already have it. Freely, completely, eternally. I've seen every part of you, and I still chose the cross. I knew the weight of what you would carry, and I bore it with you. You are not weak for being tired. You are not foolish for needing help. You are not failing just because you feel like falling apart. Even strong people need rest. Even faithful hearts need renewal. Even brave souls cry in secret. So come lay it all down, at my feet, in my arms. You don't have to carry it alone note anymore. I'm right here. Let go of the bitterness. Let go of the revenge. Let go of needing closure that may never come. Let go of waiting for others to understand before you allow yourself to heal. You don't need their permission to move forward. You only need mine, and I already gave it. The scars you carry, I see them, and I call them beautiful, because they mean you survived, and they mean I still have work to do in you and through you. You don't have to forget to be free, but you do have to forgive. Not for them, but for you, for your peace, for your heart, for your future. And I know it's not easy. You say, God, how can I forgive what broke me? And I say, with the same grace that I used to forgive you. Grace doesn't excuse sin. It lifts the burden off your back and places it into my hands. I'll take care of justice. You take care of your soul. You weren't made to be the judge, the jury, and the prisoner. You were made to be free. And I will walk you into that freedom, one breath at a time. So breathe, child. Let the weight fall. Let the light in. You are not the pain that happened to you. You are not the voice in your head that tells you you're unworthy. You are not your past. You are mine. And I'm not done with you yet. If your heart is ready to release what's been weighing you down, write in the comments, "I'm letting go and letting God heal me." Let this be your first step toward freedom. And meet me again tomorrow. There's more light waiting for you. My beloved child, you've walked through storms that others didn't see. You've smiled through winds that tried to knock you over. You've stood in rain that poured without mercy. And still, you're here. You've wondered why it had to be so hard. Why the waves didn't stop. Why I didn't calm the sea sooner. And while you may not have seen it at the time, I need you to know, the storm didn't break you. It prepared you. You think you lost something in that storm. And yes, some things were taken. Some relationships were washed away. Some dreams floated far from shore. Some parts of you changed forever. But what was left behind? That's what matters now. Because what remained is what I will use. You are stronger than you know. Wiser than before. Softer. Perhaps but softer does not mean weaker. It means you feel deeper. You love more carefully. You listen with empathy that only comes from having been in the fire yourself. You've looked at others and thought, they seem so whole. You've compared your storm-drenched life to their sunlit skies. But let me tell you, child, the ones with the clearest skies aren't always the ones with the deepest roots. But your roots went deep in the storm. You learned how to pray in the wind. You learned how to trust when you couldn't see. You learned how to keep standing when your knees buckled. Don't despise your storm. It wasn't sent to destroy you. It was sent to reveal what I had already planted inside of you. Because in the storm, your masks fell off. In the storm, you discovered who was really for you. In the storm, you stopped pretending and started pressing into me. And child, I never left you, not for one moment. You thought the silence meant I was gone. But the silence was my way of strengthening your spirit. You thought the delays meant denial, but I was teaching you patience. You thought the loss meant failure, but I was clearing space for something greater. You see now, what came after the storm is not the same you that walked into it. You've been refined. You've been made new in ways that only the rain could shape. And I am proud of you. Yes, proud. You don't hear that enough, but I want you to hear it now. I am proud of your resilience. Proud of your quiet endurance. Proud of the way you stayed kind even when bitterness knocked at your door. Proud of how you forgave even when no one asked you to. Proud of how you kept waking up even when life felt heavy. Proud of how you clung to hope with trembling fingers. I was with you when they didn't believe in you. I was with you when they misunderstood your heart. I was with you when you felt forgotten, and I never stopped working. Even when you didn't see it, I was arranging things behind the scenes. Even when you felt delayed, I was preserving you. Even when you felt overlooked, I was protecting you from what you didn't know. You made it through not by luck, but by grace. Not by your own power, but by mine. I carried you. I covered you. And I will do it again because you're not done yet. What's ahead will require the strength you gained in the storm, the compassion you've learned, the perseverance you've built. You will speak life into others not because you read it in a book, but because you lived it. Your scars will be sacred stories. Your pain will become someone else's roadmap to healing. You're not empty from the storm, you're equipped. And child, I know you still feel tired. That's okay. Rest now, but don't give up. The storm was part of the shaping. Now comes the growing. The ground you're standing on is fertile with purpose. Seeds were planted while you cried. Roots took hold while you felt forgotten. And now things will begin to rise. Slowly, quietly, surely. Beauty will come from the places you thought were ruined. Joy will rise like sunlight after too many gray days. And you'll look back not with bitterness, but with awe. Not asking, why did this happen? But whispering, Look what God did. So breathe. You're no longer in the storm. You're in the rebuilding, and I'm still the architect, still the shelter, still your God. If you've survived a storm and are ready to rise again, write in the comments, "The storm didn't break me, God was with me." Let your words be a testimony. Let your story be light for someone else. And return tomorrow because the sun is only beginning to rise. My beloved child, there are days when you wonder if I still remember you, when the prayers you've whispered seem to echo back in silence, when the wait feels too long, the healing feels too far, and your name feels lost in the sea of millions who also cry out. But I want you to know your name is not forgotten. It is not written on paper that fades. It is not etched on stone that wears. It is engraved on the palm of my hand. Your name lives in my heart, in my breath, in my every promise. You are not just one among many. You are mine. I didn't create you to disappear into the background. I didn't form your heart to be broken by doubt. You weren't born to be overlooked or silenced or forgotten. You were born with intention. You were spoken into being by my will, and I do not abandon what I create. I know you've questioned this. I know there have been nights where your pillow caught the tears that you thought no one saw, but I saw them. Every tear, every breath you struggled to take, every question you couldn't voice. I was there. You might feel like you've been misplaced, that the life you dreamed of somehow got lost in the shuffle. But I do not misplace what is precious to me. And you, child, are precious. When you feel like the world has passed you by, I see you standing still, and I stand beside you. When you feel like you don't matter, I remind the stars to shine and the earth to turn, all while watching over you. There are moments when you shrink into the shadows of shame, fear, or comparison, when you feel like others have moved ahead and you've been left behind. But I have not left you, not for a second. You're not behind. You're on my time. You're on sacred ground, though it may feel quiet now. Do you know what I see when I look at you? I don't see a mistake. I don't see failure. I don't see someone who is too much or not enough. I see someone becoming everything I've called you to be. Becoming steady, becoming strong, becoming real. You don't need to prove yourself to me. You don't need to earn my affection. You have it. You always did. In the places where you feel fragile, I see beauty. In the areas where you feel forgotten, I'm writing legacy. In the spaces where you feel like you've disappeared, I'm calling you back to the light. There are things you've prayed for that haven't come yet. There are doors you've knocked on that stayed shut. There are people you trusted who walked away. But none of that changes this. Your name is still safe in my hands. Not one promise I've spoken over your life has been retracted. Not one word I've declared has been deleted. My memory is not like man's beeve. I don't forget. I don't grow tired. I don't lose focus. I don't overlook what belongs to me. And you, beloved one, you belong to me. There will come a day when you look back at this season, the silence, the waiting, the stillness, and you'll see it for what it was. A sacred holding. You weren't being punished. You weren't being rejected. You were being protected. You were being readied. You were being hidden, not forgotten. Hidden to grow, hidden to heal, hidden to be renewed in the secret place. And when the time is right, oh child, when the time is right, you will rise with wings stronger than you imagined. And you'll soar into everything I've prepared for you. Not late, not behind, but right on time. So for now, stay close. Let your soul rest in the knowledge that your name is known, spoken, sung over in heaven. Let the world spin its noise, I will still speak to you in whispers of peace. Let others forget, I will always remember. Let the silence fall, I will still be writing. You don't have to chase visibility to matter. You don't have to be loud to be valuable. Your presence is enough. Your heart is enough. You are enough. I've kept your name safe in my hands. Now, let me keep your heart. Let me hold it when it's weary. Let me calm it when it's anxious. Let me remind it that it is known, it is chosen, and it is eternally loved. If today reminded you that your name is not forgotten, write in the comments, "My name is safe in God's hands." Let this truth sink deeper than your fear. And come back tomorrow. There's more healing, more hope, and more of me waiting for you. My beloved child, I know you're tired of waiting. I see how long you've prayed, how many nights you've whispered, "God, when?" You've watched others move forward while you feel stuck in place. You've watched doors open for them while yours seem locked shut. And in your heart, a quiet ache has grown, a question you've been afraid to ask out loud. Have you forgotten me? Let me answer you gently. I have not forgotten you. I have not abandoned your prayers. I have not overlooked your hopes. And most of all, I have not wasted your wait. Waiting is not punishment. It's not a delay tactic. It's not me ignoring you. Waiting is where I do my deepest work. I know how hard it is to sit in the silence, to trust in the dark, to believe when nothing changes day after day. But what you don't see is what I'm building beneath the surface. Roots before fruit, foundation before structure, strength before promotion. There are things I've planted in you that need time. There are doors I've prepared for you that are not ready yet. There are blessings on their way, but they must arrive in season, not too soon, not too late. I am not slow, child. I am intentional. You think you're waiting for me, but sometimes I'm waiting with you, sitting beside you in the quiet, teaching your soul how to trust without seeing, training your heart to love without demanding, shaping your spirit to stand strong not in the outcome, but in me. You're not behind. You're not overlooked. You are becoming. And the wait is part of the becoming. I've seen how many times you've wanted to give up, how many times you've almost settled for less just to feel relief, but you didn't. And that means something. I know it doesn't feel heroic, but it is. Every time you chose to believe again, every time you decided to hope again, every time you chose to love again, that was courage. You haven't wasted your time, child, and I haven't wasted your tears. What if I told you that I'm using this waiting season to protect you from something you don't see yet? What if I told you I'm lining things up perfectly, divine timing, divine people, divine places that require more patience before they're ready for you? Would you still trust me? The answers are not no, they're not yet. And that not yet is full of love. I'm not just preparing the promise, I'm preparing you, because I care more about your heart than your timeline, more about your soul than your speed, more about your character than your comfort. And yes, I know the world tells you to hustle, to chase, to produce, to keep moving or risk being left behind. But I invite you to rest, to trust, to be still and know that I am God. Even when nothing looks like it's moving, my hand is at work. I'm aligning connections. I'm softening hearts. I'm making ways where there are no paths yet. I'm writing better outcomes than you could imagine. And all of it, yes, all of it, is for your good. So don't despise the waiting. Don't curse the pause. Don't rush the miracle. You'll look back one day and say, if that would have happened when I wanted it to, I wouldn't have been ready. If I had rushed it, I would have missed something beautiful. If I had forced it, it would have fallen apart. But I kept you. I covered you, and I walked with you through every waiting hour. Let your heart be at peace, child. I'm not finished. Not with your story. Not with your healing. Not with your purpose. And while you wait, worship. While you wait, rest. While you wait, listen. Because I'm speaking even now in the quiet spaces. I'm nearer than your next breath. The wait is not empty. It is sacred. It is holy ground. And I am working, yes, even now. If this message found you in a waiting season, write in the comments, God is working in my waiting. Let this be your declaration. Let your waiting be filled with trust, not fear. And come back tomorrow, I'll still be here, with another reminder of just how close I really am. My beloved child, you've feared it, haven't you? That somehow you've gone too far, that your doubts have been too loud, that your choices have built too wide a distance between us, that maybe this time I won't come running, that my love for you has limits. But let me be clear, so clear that your soul never forgets this again. Nothing can separate you from my love, not your darkest moment, not your coldest silence, not your deepest regret. There is no sin I did not see and still chose to carry for you. No wound I did not feel and still chose to heal. No mistake I did not know about and still chose to forgive. You keep looking at me through the lens of your human experience. You think I love like people do, based on performance, approval, or behavior. But child, my love doesn't work that way. My love is not a reaction. It's a promise, a covenant, a constant, an unshakable truth. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to compete for it. You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not to keep it. You just have to receive it. I know there are things you're not proud of. I know you've said things you wish you could take back. I know your memory sometimes replays your worst moments like a broken record. But my memory doesn't work like yours. Where you see shame, I see a soul that longs to be made whole. Where you see failure, I see formation. Where you see distance, I see a child I'm reaching for. You can come back. You always can. My arms have never been folded in judgment. They've been open, waiting, watching the horizon for the moment your heart turns toward me again. Come as you are, not as you think you should be. Not with perfect words or rehearsed apologies. Come broken, come confused, come burdened. I will meet you there. I always do. Let my love wash away what shame has written across your heart. Let it rewrite the words the world used to label you. Let it silence the voice that tells you you're unworthy, because that voice is not mine. I speak life, I speak hope, I speak truth. And the truth is, I love you. I have always loved you, not the future version of you. You, right now, in this very breath. Even when you ignore me, I love you. Even when you choose wrong, I love you. Even when you forget me, I remember you. Nothing you've done has changed the way I see you. I don't love you more when you succeed. I don't love you less when you struggle. My love doesn't fluctuate. It is relentless. It is enduring. It is enough. You may feel unlovable at times, but feelings are not facts. And here is the fact you can rest your entire life on. You are deeply, eternally, unconditionally loved. There's no distance you can walk that my love cannot reach. No height too high. No valley too low. No shadow too dark. No failure too final. I've walked through your worst days with you. I've sat beside you in silence when you couldn't pray. I've collected your tears like treasures. And I've never left, not once. So let your heart be free tonight. Free from earning, free from proving, free from pretending. You're not holding on to me nearly as much as I'm holding on to you. And my grip does not slip. Let that be your comfort. Let that be your confidence. Let that be your courage to rise again. You're not too far. You're not too late. You're not disqualified. You're still mine. And you always will be. If your heart needed this reminder today, write in the comments, nothing can separate me from God's love. Let your words echo truth into the dark places. And return tomorrow, my love will still be waiting exactly where you left it. My beloved child, I know you're tired of being strong when no one notices, of showing up when your heart feels empty, of doing the right thing again and again without applause. You carry so much more than anyone knows. And sometimes you wonder, does any of this even matter? You give, but it's not always returned. You serve, but it's not always seen. You love, but it's not always appreciated. You try, but the results don't always show. And when you look around and feel invisible, unheard, unrecognized, you begin to wonder if I see it at all. Let me answer that question right now, clearly, tenderly, and undeniably. Yes, I see it. I see you. I see everything. I see the way you bite your tongue instead of lashing out. I see the way you stay kind when it would be easier to walk away. I see how you show up for others even when no one shows up for you. I see how you forgive, even when the apology never comes. I see your self-control, your quiet discipline, your invisible sacrifice, the love you give in secret, the strength it takes to not give up, the courage it takes to keep believing. The world may miss it, but heaven does not. Nothing you do out of love, out of faith, out of obedience goes unnoticed. I see it all, and I treasure it. When you pray for someone else while your own heart is breaking, I see it. When you offer grace to someone who hurt you, I see it. When you choose honesty, even when it costs you, I see it. When you get up again after failing, I see it. When you stay faithful, even when things feel dry, I see it. You think small things don't matter, but in my kingdom, small things move mountains. A gentle word, a hidden prayer, a patient reply, a quiet act of compassion. These are the things that change hearts. These are the seeds that grow eternal fruit. You may never receive a thank you. You may never be clapped for. You may never hear the words you long to hear. But one day, child, you will stand before me, and I will show you everything you thought was forgotten. And you will weep with joy at how much it mattered. I do not measure greatness by fame or followers. I measure it by faithfulness, by how you love when it's hard, by how you trust when you don't understand, by how you keep choosing good even when no one's watching. You're not weak for growing tired. You're not selfish for needing rest. You're human, and I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to keep going, to keep your heart soft, to keep coming to me again and again, because I see your effort, not just your results. I see how hard it is for you to believe right now, but you're still here. You haven't walked away. You haven't let go of hope completely, and that means more than you realize. Let me encourage your heart today. You are doing better than you think. You are making a difference, even when it doesn't feel like it. You are showing others what quiet strength looks like. You are making heaven smile. So don't give in to the lie that says your effort is wasted. Don't compare your journey to someone else's highlight reel. Don't think you're behind just because your growth isn't loud. The roots are growing deeper. The fruit will come. Even when you feel invisible, I see you. Even when no one claps, I celebrate you. Even when your impact feels small, I am multiplying it. You were never created to impress people. You were created to reflect me, and you're doing that beautifully, even if you can't see it. So pause for a moment, take a breath, let go of the pressure to be seen, and simply rest in being known. You don't have to hustle for my attention. You already have my heart. Let me refresh your soul. Let me remind you that it matters. Let me whisper what the world forgets to say. Well done, my child. You're doing well. Keep going. I'm with you. If you needed this reminder today, write in the comments, God sees my effort and that's enough. Let your quiet strength become a loud testimony. And return tomorrow. Heaven still has more to say to you, my beloved child. I know the pain you've carried, not just the visible kind, but the silent ache you hide from the world. The questions no one can answer. the heaviness that sits on your chest when you're alone, the memories you wish would fade, but somehow always find their way back. I've seen you wrestle with the why it had to happen, why it hurt so much, why it lingers long after the moment has passed. And though I may not give you every answer you're searching for right now, I will give you something better, a promise. I will not let your pain be wasted. I will turn every wound into wisdom, every scar into testimony, every tear into seeds of transformation. What broke you will not be the end of you. In fact, it's where I will begin something new. You see, child, pain can bury or it can birth. And with me, it always births something holy. I am the God who brings beauty from ashes, joy from mourning, dancing from sorrow. You may think that what happened disqualified you, that it left you damaged, unworthy, permanently stained. But I see differently. I see someone who has walked through fire and emerged refined, someone whose heart has been stretched and softened, someone who now carries a compassion that only suffering can teach. You've asked, why did I have to go through that? And I ask you gently, who better to comfort the hurting than one who has known pain? Who better to stand beside the broken than one who has felt what it's like to be shattered? Who better to lift another soul than one who has known the weight of despair and survived it? You carry something sacred now, something real. Not just knowledge, but lived wisdom. Not just words, but presence. Not just a story, but an anointing that comes from what you've endured. You thought the pain meant I was absent, but I was never closer than in those moments. I sat with you in the dark. I caught every tear. I whispered strength into you when you wanted to give up. And now, I'm redeeming it all. What the enemy used to try to break you, I will use to bless others through you. Where you were crushed, you will now be a comforter. Where you felt forgotten, you will now carry my favor. Where you were silent in suffering, you will now speak with authority and gentleness. You are not a victim of your past. You are a vessel for my purpose. And purpose is always born through process. I know you would never have chosen this road, but even here, I am writing something eternal. Your healing is not just for you, 'tis meant to overflow. It will pour into the lives of others who think they are alone. And because of you, they will see that survival is possible. That restoration is real. That redemption is not just a word, it is a person. And that person is me. So don't be ashamed of where you've been. Don't hide the chapters you think disqualify you. In my hands, even the ugliest stories become radiant with glory. You may not see the full picture yet. You may still be in the middle. But even now, I'm stitching meaning into the places that feel meaningless. I'm weaving redemption into the moments that still sting. I will bring purpose to every detail. Yeseven, that one. Yeseven, the thing you never told anyone. Yeseven, the pain that still brings tears when you speak of it. Nothing is too ruined for me to repurpose. Nothing is too messy for me to bless. Nothing is too broken for me to resurrect. Let me show you what I can do with the places you thought were wasted. Let me walk you through the transformation. Let me lift the heaviness from your shoulders and give you holy vision, to see that your pain will serve a purpose far greater than you imagined. You are not just going to recover, you are going to rise. You are going to walk in purpose, and every step will testify of my goodness. This is the miracle, child, that what once made you cry will one day be your calling, and what once crushed your heart, too, will be the very thing that helps heal another. So breathe. You're not behind. You're not disqualified. You are being positioned. Watch what I will do with your surrender. Watch how I will use your pain not as a period but as a comma. Your story isn't ending. It's just beginning. If you believe God can use your pain for something greater, write in the comments, "My pain has purpose in His hands." and come back tomorrow, because we're not done. The best chapters are still unfolding. My beloved child, you're closer than you know. Closer than the fear that tells you you're not. Closer than the exhaustion that whispers, just quit. Closer than the doubts that try to drown out my voice. I know the road has felt long. I know you've asked, more than once, when will this end? You've thought of turning back. You've looked at your hands and wondered if you have anything left to give. You've questioned if the finish line was just an illusion. But hear me now. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. You've made it through the hardest nights. You've stood your ground when everything screamed for you to surrender. You've walked through storms you thought would destroy you, but you're still here. Every step you've taken in faith has moved you closer. Every tear you've cried has watered the ground for the harvest that's coming. Every yes to me, even when you didn't feel strong, has built a foundation under your feet. You may not see the shift with your eyes yet, but in the spirit, the earth is moving. The heavens are stirring. Things are aligning that you don't yet understand. Your name has been spoken in rooms you haven't entered. Your faith has been noticed in heaven's throne room. Your obedience has released blessings that are on their way. Do not let delay deceive you. Do not let weariness rewrite the truth. Just because it hasn't come yet doesn't mean it isn't coming. I work in layers, in seasons, in moments that feel mundane until they become miracles. That conversation you had, it planted a seed. That boundary you set, it protected your heart for the next blessing. That prayer you whispered through clenched teeth, it shook the very gates of hell. You think you're crawling, but I call it pressing forward. You think you're falling behind, but I say you're exactly on time. Child, don't you see? The enemy wouldn't be fighting this hard if you weren't close. You wouldn't feel so much pressure if something divine weren't about to break open. There's something in the air, a trembling beneath the surface. An opening being formed in places you thought were permanently shut. I am doing something new. Can you not perceive it? I'm parting waters. I'm bringing down walls. I'm calling what was dead back to life. And I'm doing it for you, not because you earned it, not because you performed for it, but because I love you, because I'm faithful to finish what I started, because I said I would, and I don't break my promises. Even if you've forgotten what you prayed for, I haven't. Even if you lost hope halfway through, I haven't. And now I say to you, lift up your head, shake off the dust, strengthen your hands, straighten your back, because what's coming is heavy with glory, and you need to be ready to receive it. I'm not just giving you what you asked for, I'm giving you more than you imagined. More healing, more joy, more peace, more purpose. You thought the battle would end in burnout, but it will end in breakthrough. You thought the silence meant no, but it was me saying, wait, I'm building something better. You thought the delay was denial, but it was preparation. I had to grow you into the version of yourself that could carry the blessing without it crushing you. Now it's time. You've endured. You've trusted. You've obeyed. And now, child, now comes the open door, the answered prayer, the divine surprise, the season of suddenlies. And when it comes, you will weep. Not because you're sad, but because you'll finally understand, I was working all along. In the shadows, in the slow, in the silence, you'll see the purpose behind the pain, the thread of grace through the wilderness, the fingerprints of heaven on everything that tried to break you. You'll say, it was worth it. You'll say, I didn't understand it then, but I see it now. You'll say, my God kept his promise. So don't stop now. Don't turn around. Don't settle for almost. Your finish line is in sight. And I am cheering you on, not from a distance, but beside you. Step by step, breath by breath. You've made it this far. Let me take you the rest of the way. My beloved child, I know how it feels to come to the end of something and whisper to yourself, I guess I have to start over. You look at what's fallen apart. The job that ended, the relationship that didn't work, the goals that faded away, the version of yourself you thought you'd be by now, and you feel like you've been pushed back to the beginning. But let me interrupt that thought. Let me speak gently into your tired heart. You're not starting over, you're starting higher, because you are not who you were when this began. You carry wisdom now. You carry endurance. You carry faith that's been tested, pressed, and refined. And most of all, you carry me deeper inside than ever before. You didn't go backwards. You went through loss, through disappointment, through the silence of unanswered prayers, through the heartbreak of watching doors close while others opened for people who never prayed like you did. You went through all of it and you're still standing. You're not at square one. You're at sacred ground. And I know it's tempting to look at what didn't work and feel like you've wasted time. But what if I told you no time with me is ever wasted? What if I told you I use every detour to build a deeper direction? What if I told you that the moments you thought were setbacks were actually strengthening the foundations beneath your next season? You didn't lose your progress. You built a new level of depth. You found muscles you didn't know you had, resilience you didn't know you carried. And that doesn't vanish just because the chapter changed. You're not who you used to be. You think you're behind. But in my eyes, you've grown. You think you failed. But I say you've matured. You think you have to rebuild everything from scratch. But I say I've preserved everything of eternal value. That love you gave, it still lives. That seed of kindness, it still grows. That decision to keep going when you could have quit, it echoes through eternity. Yes, the scenery changed. Yes, some dreams had to die. Yes, it hurt more than you expected. But you are not empty-handed. You carry layers now of grace, grit, and God-given clarity. You've shed illusions. You've released idols. You've dropped the weight of needing everyone's approval. And child, that's not starting over. That's starting wiser. That's starting freer. That's starting closer to me. Sometimes what feels like collapse is actually clearing. A clearing for what's next. A clearing for what's real. A clearing for what your soul truly longs for, not the surface version, but the eternal one. You see a mess, but I see momentum. You see rubble. I see a ready foundation. Because now, your plans are no longer just your own. You've invited me in. And when I rebuild with you, nothing is wasted. So don't be ashamed of starting again. Don't carry regret for where you've been. This next step is not a repeat. It's a rise. You are starting higher because you are starting with more of me. And yes, it might look small again at first. Yes, others may not understand. Yes, it may feel unfamiliar to walk in new ways. But you won't be walking alone. You never have. Let me walk with you into what's next. Not dragging the old version of yourself behind you, but lifting your head, opening your heart, and saying with confidence, I've been through too much to go back. I'm only going forward. This time, you'll move slower because you've learned not to rush. This time, you'll choose wisely because you've seen the cost of compromise. This time, you'll love deeper because you know how fragile hearts can be. And this time, you'll build stronger because you're building with me. So breathe. Not the breath of someone beginning again in fear, but the breath of someone beginning again with authority, with intention, with holy resolve. You are not behind. You are being elevated. From this place, you don't start as a beginner. You start as a warrior. You start as a witness. You start as one who knows what it's like to fall and be carried. This is not your reset. It's your release. Sorrise. Not because everything is easy, but because you know the one who holds every step ahead. You don't need to have it all mapped out. You just need to say yes, one more time, and I'll meet you in the new. If you believe your breakthrough is near, write in the comments, "My breakthrough is closer than I think." Say it with faith even if your voice trembles. And share this message with someone else who might be one step away from giving up. Together, you'll step into the promise. My beloved child, now that you've walked with me through these words, now that your soul has leaned in, listened, and let me in again, I want to leave you with one last whisper, not to end the conversation, but to remind you it never really ends. This is not just a moment. This is a movement of your heart back into my hands, of your hope back into my light, of your future back into my promise. You've heard me speak to your weariness, to your waiting, to your wounds, to your worth. And in every part, I have only said one thing, over and over through every word: I love you. When you forget the lessons, when the day gets loud again, when the ache returns or the silence stretches long, come back here. Come back to my voice. Come back to my arms. Let these words live in you. Let them become the new rhythm of your inner dialogue. Let them override the fear, outshine the lies, undo the noise. Because I will never stop loving you. Never stop speaking. Never stop staying close. I don't need your performance. I don't need your perfection. I only want your heart. Your real, beating, imperfect heart. The one that still hopes. The one that still wonders. The one that still aches and still believes all at the same time. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to fix everything today. You only have to remember this: I am here, and I will be here tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day you feel strong again, and the day you fall apart again, and every ordinary morning in between. You are never starting from scratch with me. You are always starting from grace. So go forward, my child. Not with fear, but with fire. Not with heaviness, but with holy confidence. Not with questions about your worth, but with quiet certainty that you are known, chosen, and dearly loved. And when you forget again, because you will, I'll remind you again, because I never grow tired of speaking life into you. That's who I am. That's what I do. I love you into wholeness again and again. You are mine, and you always will be. If this series has spoken to your soul, write in the comments, God, I receive your love, and I will keep going. And whenever you feel weak again, come back. These words will still be waiting. I will still be waiting. Until then, go, shine, rest. Begin again, this time in my strength. With all my love, your Father,